Hey guys, welcome back to Hate It or Love It, episode number 11. So you already know the goal is to break the image of tradition
while showing the beauty of walking in wisdom,
bringing the raw and keeping it 100.
With Christ at the center, you're either going to hate it or love it.
And I'm your host, Vanessa, and this is my co-host,
Clarissa Bell. I thought you said we weren't going to do that anymore.
Do what? I'm not going to do the AKA, but I did it last time.
Okay. Oh, that is right. You probably should let the people know who you are. That makes sense.
Yeah, why wouldn't we give our names?
Okay, anyway. So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about bullshit. No, I'm just playing. No. Today we're going to talk about our experiences at the polls for midterms elections, which was so great.
Yeah.
So great. I'm so happy for the guy that was voted.
Ham sandwich?
Ham sandwich? No, Uncle Fester.
I run on Roe v. Wade. Celebrates the demise of Roe v. Wade.
He admits that. His brain doesn't work.
His brain doesn't work. I don't care if he had a stroke. I don't care if a bird ate it. I don't care what's going on. The end of his brain doesn't work. He's going to the Senate. He's going to the Senate. We literally sent this guy who we wouldn't trust to watch our children for freaking 5 minutes. We're sending him to Washington, D.C. Honestly, you guys voted for a ham sandwich.
Uncle Fester. So, basically what we experienced, first of all, when we went out there, I was like, oh my gosh, these people are going to hate us. It's going to be so awkward. And first they sent us to one place.
And that was interesting.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it. Listen, it is the oddest thing to me. First of all, we're sitting there and then some lady comes up and I'm thinking like, okay, like she seemed real aggressive.
I knew she was Spanish when she did like this. I don't know what it is about Spanish people. Because she was mad. Right? She was like.
Rolled up with a whole attitude.
What are you doing here?
Right? So then I'm like, okay.
I'm like, this our lawn chairs.
You're so stupid. No, but like to me, I was like, okay, like I didn't think, like I wasn't sure really. Mm-hmm. So when I asked her what party she affiliated with, she was like, oh no, I'm a lifelong Democrat. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. You're a Democrat working for a Republican. That rubbed me the wrong way so hard. I was just like, why? Well, I do whatever for anybody that pays me.
Yeah, that was another thing. And it was kind of funny because she said that, for anyone who pays her, but then she said she didn't get paid somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what it was. I was like, hold up, I want to get paid too. She was like, oh, no. And it I don't know. You know how conversations could just veer off and you're just like, no, seriously though, how'd you make the money? I want to make money.
Right, because I didn't hear nothing about
paycheck,
Republicans
right?
paying. I don't know. But anywho, let's continue on with our day.
Yeah, so anyway, so we were there and that was inside, so I liked it. But then it turned out we had to go to a different location and it was deeper in the city. And so I was just like, I didn't know what to expect, you know. And when we got there, first of all, it was kind of funny because when we got there, our whole station was just like knocked off on the floor. And like, and I was upset because I don't like littering, so I had to pick everything up and stuff. But this was the crazy part. The crazy part is that the Democratic people that were there at the polls, they were so nice. They were so sweet. They were so down to earth. It was like us. Just different parties. And I think that's something that we should really think about. We're not that much different. And we want the same things.
We do.
We just feel like it's a different way of going about it. Like you guys or whoever thinks is for voting for the Democratic Party. We maybe think it's voting for the Republican Party. But the thing that was crazy is how much our views and morals aligned. Like we want what's best for our people. We want what's best for our community. We want what's best for the children. But they don't even watch debates. And that's what's crazy to me. And then it makes sense when you see people like Fetterman
blindly,
and,
where they're like, like the lady. I just won't forget her. Where you try to hand her the Republican, information.
Yeah, she tried to hit me.
She was like, get out of here with that.
But it was friendly. It wasn't like it
was very, very friendly. Like she was being cute about it.
Yeah, she was, but she meant it.
Yeah, she did. Like I ain't even trying to hear you.
Yeah.
But for me,
it was more so like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing over there? Come on this side. For you.
For me, that was a sad thing that I saw. You see a bunch of people that I feel are being absolutely used that have a heart for the community, but are completely ignorant to what's happening in politics. They don't really know. Like when I asked them, did you watch the debates? Like they were like, no, like, like I saw a clip here and there, but I didn't really like watch it. And I'm just thinking, you guys are out here stomping and going, really doing the legwork for a group of people, and you have no idea what they represent, who they are, or any of those things. You may know them by name, but that's just about it. And I just found it to be sad to see all of these people, like even on the conversations that we were having, we won't go into the details of like the persons, but just see that these people have been impacted by a lot of the stuff that's happening in government, but they're oblivious to it. Whether it be medical issues or, struggles that they're going through, they don't see it.
And that's the sad part.
And to me, that's the part that really, really pissed me off, because it's like, you guys are for the people, but you don't understand that the side that you are representing is not.
It's against it.
They are not the party that you think they are. And because you do no research and really, at the end of the day, when they vote, and this excuse makes me so mad when people are like, oh, well, I don't really follow it. Like, fuck both of them. What do you mean? If that is really where you stand, where you really do not care about politics like that,
don't have no strong opinion.
Don't have a strong opinion. But most importantly, at least make it logical. Like, let's break it down to policy if you don't care about neither one of them. But to say that you don't care and then you throw your bid in for the worst candidate ever.
Right.
To me, like, you don't get to just drop this bag of manure on the ground and just walk away and be like, not really my twist. You could at least vote it in a way that would have benefited people.
Yeah.
But for you to sit there and just say, I don't care, and at the end of the day, I'm just going to vote party instead of policy, but not my business, because, I really don't care. Like,
and to be honest with you, a lot of people don't even come out for midterms. A lot of people don't come out for midterms. That's not even their thing. Everybody, like, there's still people who think the president's all they have to care about. They get in there and be like, I'm going to vote for Biden. District attorney? You know what I'm saying?
For the most part, I really do think it's just straight ticket.
Well, yeah. But if you get, okay, because I'm talking for me. When I was younger, I thought it was just president. I didn't know about school boards. I didn't know about midterms. I didn't know about the judges. So for me, I actually have never been a straight ticket. I feel like I have to pick one. So I pick really dumb reasons. Like, her name rhymes with raisins. I like raisins.
But the thing that I found to be funny is that when we would talk to them, they assume that just because we align with Republican views, that we are just like all in for the party and we don't really care about the person. So when they were like, oh, well, what about this person? It's like, no, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. This person needs to go. Like, it's not about the party. It just so happens that a lot of the policies and the standpoints I agree with comes from Republicans. I can't get down with Democrats. Like, a lot of the stuff that they are advocating for, I cannot align myself with, especially as a child of God. I'm going to vote kingdom, period. And so when they would just be like, oh, well, this person, well, no, I agree with you. They need to go. Every person that is not for this country or the people needs to go. And to see their response was just like, oh, like, I don't really know where to go with that. Yeah. And it's like, because they automatically think that we're crazy, that we're conspiracy theorists, that, that we're blind and we don't really see that the party is filled with racists and, just ridiculous stuff.
Just dumb ideas.
The
fact is, there's a gang. It's a gang. They're red, blue, and everything in between. It's a group. It's not the party.
So with that, I would like to jump into the first clip that pretty much explains where we stand and where MAGA really stands. It's not, the fascist Republican, MAGA Republicans. Like, no, that's not what they're scared of.
Or they call it alt-right.
Nah.
Hit the clip.
And so they have this unattainable platform. They want to stop fracking. They want to have endless wars. They want to give money to Ukraine, right? These are platforms that do not exist in the real world. They're not viable. And people know that. And so even the Republicans that support it, the energy isn't for Mitch McConnell. I've never heard someone ever say Mitch McConnell's name in a positive way. Okay? I've never heard somebody be like, oh, Mitch McConnell? I'm excited about that guy. That guy is great. Nobody's excited. So we're trying to outdo the establishment GOP, and we're trying to bring in the America First MAGA movement of people who give a damn for this country. And you know who's mad? The government, because America First is about removing not the power from the Democrats, not the power from the Republicans, but the power from the establishment, which spreads its tentacles across both parties and both platforms, even into the depths of the state, which is what we call the deep state. And they're mad and they're angry. And so you have people like McConnell that intentionally do not fund Blake Masters for a Senate race and instead spend the money on Murkowski and somebody in Alaska. Who? To beat a Democrat? Where do they spend the money? When they could have actually beat a Democrat in Arizona? No. They use the money to beat an America First candidate, to get an establishment candidate in, because it's not about fucking winning for Republicans or Democrats. It's about getting people who will keep the status quo and keep sucking Mitch McConnell's neck fat off of his stupid little chin.
So this is what we're talking about. We see that the corruption can be on both sides, or is on both sides. We want those people out. And those people do not want the MAGA Republicans in because they know that they are of the people, or by the people, for the people. They don't want that. They want to continue the gravy train. So there are people that are within the party that were anti-Trump. When Trump went into office, Republicans weren't embracing him with open arms.
Nope.
Absolutely not. They teamed up with Democrats, never Trumpers, on the Republican side.
Hello, Pence.
You know. But I mean, even the people that voted for him to be impeached, 13 of them. And along the way, they were always an obstacle in the way. Now, these same people, including Mitch McConnell, you know, to send money out to go against a MAGA Republican, like you're literally fighting on your own team to make sure that MAGA doesn't make it in.
That's how you know it's not your team.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where we're coming from whenever we say, okay, something's not right here. And I really didn't see that for a long time. Like for me, I only saw the corruption on the Democrat side, but I'm starting to realize that it's on both sides.
Yep.
And we really just need people that are for the people. Like, and you can't count everybody out because there are people that have turned from the Democrat side that are now Republicans. Even Tulsi Gabbard, when she left Democrat and was just like, yo, like this party is not the party that I remember. It's not the party that I signed up for. I'm leaving. I recommend every Democrat to leave too, because what we have here is a party that is against the country.
I can no longer remain in today's Democratic Party that's under the complete control of an elitist cabal of warmongers who are driven by cowardly wokeness, who divide us by racializing every issue and stoking anti-white racism, who actively work to undermine our God-given freedoms that are enshrined in our Constitution, who are hostile to people of faith and spirituality, who demonize the police but protect criminals at the expense of law-abiding Americans, who believe in open borders, who weaponize the national security state to go after their political opponents, and above all, who are dragging us ever closer to nuclear war. Now, I believe in a government that's of the people, by the people, and for the people. Unfortunately, today's Democratic Party does not. Instead, it stands for a government that is of, by, and for the powerful elite. Now, I'm calling on my fellow common sense, independent-minded Democrats to join me in leaving the Democratic Party. If you can no longer stomach the direction that the so-called woke Democratic Party ideologues are taking our country, and I invite you to join me.
Now, what I want to do is, since we've gone to the polls and we've seen the people, I would like to really dig my heels in and begin to educate those that may not know. So what we're going to do is we're going to start going through some of the Republican people that we do like. And it's unfortunate that Joe Pinion did not win his race against Chucky Schumer.
You know, and that
girl.
That was crazy to me. Like watching the debate, I really enjoyed it, by the way.
Oh,
that was the most viral debate, actually.
Probably, that debate was probably my favorite debate.
Yeah, that was the viral debate. That was the one that you sent me.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important, though, I have to say, that for Democrats, Republicans, and independents and conservatives, whatever demographic there is, to stop seeing yourself for a party. I mean, like, it's great that you could say you're for a party, but when you're out here and you're mingling with people, we need to stop just being like, yeah, I'm a Republican. Start talking about issues and what you want to do. Get out there and start helping. And you see somebody, like, for us, I really want to get in contact with a lot of these Democrats we met.
Absolutely.
And figure out what we can do to help in the city. Yeah. To help in the city, help the children, the youth, and the elderly, like the forgotten. What can we do? And that's what we got to start doing as people. Stop looking at ourselves as part of this party or that party. How about just as Americans?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's who we are. And I think that's going to help all of us get back on the right track if we stop looking at each other as party. Yeah, go vote for whoever you want to vote for. Go vote for whoever you want to vote for if that's what you feel like you have to do. But as far as your city, you pay attention to what's going on in school.
Absolutely.
You pay attention to what's going on, tax breaks, and who's trying to get freebies in the city. Because there's people under your noses not trying to, like, remember what happened with these people trying to get out here and build this apartment complex and have no taxes? For what? You got all this money, you got to pay just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Overcrowding our schools and stuff. Trying to act like no kids are going to go into that. No kids are going to come to live there. Okay.
That's why I think it's important that we begin to inform the people. And I want to dig my heels in to make an effort in showing what MAGA is really about. So with that, we're going to roll into Joe Pinion. We'll probably start out with climate.
Move on to climate change, and we're going to start with you, Mr. Pinion. The transition to a fossil fuel economy will cost billions of dollars and displace thousands of U.S. workers. Do you support
transition
instituting...
To, you said transition from?
Did you say something?
You said transition from or to?
The transition from.
Yeah.
Transition from, good catch, from a fossil fuel economy will cost billions of dollars. Do you support instituting a carbon tax to help pay for the cost of this transition? And how will you ensure that workers who are displaced are quickly retained and rehired by the renewable energy industry?
Well, let's be very clear. We have to deal with the environment. I think the question is a little bit off base. We have to deal with foreign polluters. 87% of the emissions we are trying to curb are emitted from beyond our borders. You're talking about China. And for the record, everything they make, from the T-shirts that are sewn together by the Uyghurs with cotton that was picked by the children, it is all has the carbon that is baked into that pricing. So the cheap goods they're flooding this country with has to be dealt with. The problem with everything that we do here is that we come up with slogans that have no substance. Green New Deal. We want to be carbon neutral. You cannot be carbon neutral without dealing with the fact that we need natural gas. You cannot be carbon neutral and bang a table talking about a nuclear deal or talking about the Paris Climate Accord deal without dealing with the fact that they get 87% or close to that of their energy from nuclear. So we need real solutions. And from my perspective, that is not the type of approach that's happened in D.C., but I will say it's the type of nonpartisan approach I've taken in my life as a spokesperson for Republican.org.
Are you anti-nuclear?
No, I think that we need to have a nuclear. The problem is right now that we have individuals that say that they want to be carbon neutral, but say that nuclear must be off the table.
Are you a pro-carbon tax?
I believe that we need to start taxing the pollution that occurs from beyond our borders. Okay. That, I think, is a place that we need to start. I think any other conversation that we have is not really being genuine about the source of the problem.
We're going to ask the same question to Mr. Schumer.
Yes. Well, I'm so proud of the Inflation Reduction Act, which did more to curb global warming, to fight climate change than anything that's ever been done before. And it was hailed by so many in those who've been fighting so long for this. And one of the good things about it, it's going to create, in reference to your question, huge numbers of new good-paying jobs, because the tax breaks to produce wind energy, solar energy, water energy, and included in the bill is a tax break for some nuclear energy. It's not my favorite, but it's carbon neutral, so we put it in the bill, is going to create millions of good-paying jobs, and these are jobs for the future, because we know these industries are going to expand because global warming is so great. This was the best thing that could have been done for climate, and it will reduce, this is amazing, Susan, A 40% reduction of the carbon going into our atmosphere by 2030. That's even stronger than New York's CLCPA. So I'm very proud of what we've done, and I believe it will create many, many tens of thousands, millions of new jobs.
Can I just get a quick response on the carbon tax?
Yeah, the carbon tax is something I would seriously consider. It has to be worked out. It doesn't yet have the majority of support. What we did had majority support, and my number one job is to get things done. We got something very real and very significant done, and I'm very proud of it.
Well, it's real money, but it didn't actually help anyone today. And if you're talking about what needs to happen, it is not really serious about solving the problem. Again, the emissions are coming from beyond our borders. There is nothing in the bill that deals with the fact that the emissions are coming from beyond our borders. So until you're going to acknowledge that reality, then nothing that we're doing here is actually going to be able to solve the problem. You keep talking about these jobs it's going to create. Yes, I want the best wind turbines in the world to be made in America. I want the best solar panels in the world to be made in America. But from my perspective, all the money that you are spending right here pretends that electricity is a source of energy. It is not. It is a conduit. And all these people who don't have the actual robust power from a nuclear, from the actual natural gas, are going to be using dirty coal to power their Teslas. And that's probably a really bad way to fix the economy or to save our environment.
Mr. Schumer.
Yeah, the bottom line is that this bill helped in the whole world. And why did it? Well, when Donald Trump pulled out of the Paris Accords, all the other countries, China included, said, we're not going to do anything. U.S. isn't doing anything. We're not going to do anything. When we passed the IRA bill, I got calls, not only from John Kerry, excuse me, our ambassador to the world, but from foreign country leaders who said, thank God the U.S. is taking the lead. We're going to follow.
The French government quite literally was found guilty in a Paris courtroom for breaking the own terms of the Paris Climate Accord. Do you know what happened? Nothing. Because it was a toothless piece of legislation where no one was actually required to do what was written down on paper. So again, we need real solutions. I don't care what your issue is. Child poverty, you want to talk about the crime, which you don't want to talk about. You want to talk about the southern border. We still haven't talked about it. We need real solutions that are actually going to improve people's quality of life. The quality of life is on decline because of the failure of your leadership, sir.
Let's move on to foreign relations.
Okay, mister. Okay. Like, I just don't know if you guys take the time, you know, obviously we all wrote it, whatever. Take the time to watch these debates. I mean, they're amazing.
Really?
Except for Fetterman. Like, that just was...
yeah.
It was uneventful. It's more like a comedy thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't find that... I didn't find that amusing just because it's sad to watch. Like, even Fetterman's a person at the end of the day.
He is a person, but I'm
Yeah.
sorry. No. For me, it was no sense. Like, as soon as they started and he was like, okay, well, like, give us your pitch. And he was like, good night, everyone. I was like, oh, hell no. Nah, daddy. Nah,
But I feel bad about making fun of people that have issues.
It's not about making fun of him. We are talking about you being the U.S. Senator. Absolutely not.
But what I'm saying is I can't take that serious is what I'm saying. These type of debates I could take serious and I can enjoy them. I don't want to watch a debate where I'm like, it's like a freaking SNL, you know, Saturday Night Live. Like, that's what that felt like. The debate with Fetterman was like, is this a skit?
Yeah, and that's what the vote really should have showed. Like, I know y'all lying. I know you not. This the guy right here. Like, we don't like Oz, but we not doing this.
But you know what?
No.
I don't know that I would enjoy is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And this man, I enjoyed listening to him. And I love how they have such, like, he had such a, like, you know, and you hear Schumer's rebuttal.
Absolutely clobbered him in that. And he is the first person that I've heard, not saying that it hasn't been done, but he's the first person I've heard that actually brought the reality to the situation. Like, you guys keep talking about climate change, but you won't put sanctions on anybody that's actually doing the most climate danger or pain or whatever to the climate. Like, it makes no sense. You want to pass all of these laws that make it harder on Americans, but you won't go after the people that are actually doing it? Are you kidding me right now? From China to India, like, it's
I heard about India too.
Yo, but like, really, you guys go
heard the
on and
pollution's
on
really
and
bad out
on
there.
about climate change and what's going on in the environment. But it's like the politicians that are willing to pass policies, like, his answer really did not deal with the issue.
They never do.
But Joe Pinion was like, listen, unless you guys make any changes, like, all of it is just rhetoric. You emotionally jerk people around, but you give no solutions. And the things that you are coming up with doesn't benefit anybody. It hurts the people more than anything. The only people that win in this is you guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But with that, let's roll into our next clip. And what are we going to do?
Tell me.
Roll to the next clip.
In New York, 7 upstate counties are on the CDC's high community spread COVID list, and COVID cases continue to rise as we head to winter in several regions of the state. Under what circumstances would you reinstitute mask mandates and other measures?
Let's be very clear. There is no silver bullet. There is no unilateral case. But from my perspective, we are no longer in a pandemic. We are in an endemic phase of what we're dealing with in COVID. There should not be mask mandates at this juncture. That is just the reality. The mask mandates were put in place at a time when we were trying to cross the curve, when we knew for a fact that we did not have the natural immunity, the herd immunity, or the vaccine that was necessary. Fast forward to today, over 50% of the people that call this nation home have been vaccinated or have been exposed to the virus. Many, many more have been boosted. So I think at this juncture, trying to, again, retrofit a 2023 America with 2020 ideas on how we fight this virus is probably a really bad way to go about dealing with something that we have so much more knowledge about today than we did back then.
All right, follow-up question for you, Mr. Pinion. Should COVID vaccines be part of the regularly scheduled mandatory vaccines for children? Why or why not?
Absolutely not. The fact of the matter is that when we actually had the vaccine put out, when we actually had the mask put forth, we knew that we were trying to mask the children, whether we agreed with it or not, for the protection of the teachers who were the most vulnerable. Those teachers have now all been vaccinated. In fact, many of them were fired if they chose not to be vaccinated. So the notion that, again, the medical community has done us all a great disservice here by not actually being straightforward about what is the science, what is the actual scientific method that we are following. I do not believe that the children should be vaccinated. Parents deserve the right to make that decision based on what they think is right for their family and their children.
For Mr. Schumer, same questions. Under what circumstances would you reinstitute mask mandates?
I would leave it up to the medical experts. That's what always has been my position. They know best of anybody. And the medical experts have really been much more accurate about what we should do than others. Let's go back to 2020. Donald Trump ignored COVID altogether, ignored the medical experts. He said it was going to go away in 2 weeks. I was early on this case because I listened to the medical experts. And in fact, in January of 2020, before COVID hit, when it was raging in China, I called on the president to create a national emergency. He did only 2 months later, and COVID was already raging. So the failure by politicians to listen to medical experts will always result in trouble. I would defer to the medical experts on these issues.
So same follow-up for you, Mr. Schumer. Should COVID vaccines be part of the regularly scheduled mandatory vaccines for children?
Well, we've always had mandatory vaccines for mumps, for measles, for whooping cough, and all of that. We've gotten them. Again, this is a new illness. They're just learning. It doesn't have the long track record or history of mumps or measles. So I'd leave it up to the medical experts, as I always have, on these issues.
It's a perfect picture. You have one person that's saying, okay, listen, at first we didn't know, and we did everything to the best of our ability, not knowing. But now that we're in it already for 2 years, we can't keep going with that old model with all the information that we have today. The best people that can really make the decision should be the parents. You know, we did everything that was necessary in order to make sure that the teachers and everybody was protected. And if they weren't, they were fired. Thank you very much. But now we should move on. Okay, that's freedom. And then Chucky comes back talking about, you know what? We gonna stick with the doctors.
I mean,
so if at the flip of a light switch, if the doctors decide out of nowhere, fart in the wind, this is really serious again. There's a new strain. Now what? Now we go right back to 2019, 2020?
Some people are ready to jump right back in there.
Yo, it's ridiculous.
What, they got that RSVP?
I'm sorry, what?
I knew that's what it was. I don't know. It's some new thing going on right now.
What are you talking about? I love you.
It's a new one out. There's a new one out. I'm not. I was being funny. It's not RSVP. That's
Okay.
what you do when you're like, hey, I'm gonna go. But this is like a respiratory type of thing, and I was at an event, and they're like, oh my goodness, and they let her back. Not even 5 days. She didn't even quarantine or anything. I was like, oh no, there's another one coming. But the point is, no, because the lady's like a teacher and stuff like that. So the way she was talking, she was probably ready to get her mask, you know?
You know, with you saying that, what came to my mind is knowledge is power. Mm-hmm. You know, and the sad part is that I find that with all of these people that are the easiestly manipulated are people that aren't willing to do the research to find out what is it that they're scared of. They don't.
Yeah.
They're so terrified, but they don't know of what. They'll throw out something that they've heard, but haven't taken the time to really say, okay, well, what are scientists saying about it? What are doctors saying about it?
Yeah.
You know, really to do any information, they're just willing to go on it face value. You know what I mean? And it's just like, what are you scared of?
And it was so funny because I was trying my darndest not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, you know? And I was like, man, the CDD. Well, CDD. I was like, oh man, the CDC always got stuff to say, huh? You know, but I tried not to go too deep because I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. But I thought it was funny because she was like, you know, first they say you got to quarantine for 14 days. Now they're saying you have 5 days. And they don't even know if she has or not. And I said, you know what? I'm not even going in that classroom. I think she should just stay home. You know, and it's so crazy.
No, I think you should just stay home.
Girl, listen. I ain't even want to say nothing.
No, you can't. Like, honestly, nothing can function that way. If you have a group of 20 people and there's one person in the group of 20 that's having an issue with it, I apologize.
You need to go home.
But you need to go home.
Right.
I'm not going to send 19 people home just because you got an issue with it. Like,
Right.
no, nothing works that way. It's just ridiculous.
It sucks that's what it's come to. Actually, I was watching. Am I allowed to go off topic for a second?
Sure.
No, I'm not. So anyway, can't believe it was Schumer. Hit the next clip.
Yeah, all right, let's just roll into the next one.
Do you still blame China for the COVID virus? And if so, how would you want to see the U.S. hold that nation accountable?
Of course, I believe that they should be held accountable. Let's be very clear. This is not my opinion. The Department of Homeland Security has said that China hid the extent of the virus, then hoarded the PPE supplies we needed to save the lives of American heroes while we were actually trying to figure out what in the world was going on. So yes, they should be held accountable for the deaths, for the actual pain and suffering of so many families like my own family. We lost my grandmother who died alone in a nursing home because of the mandates that were forced to be placed in society. Even vaccinated members of our family were unable to see her. So there is a great deal of harm that starts and has to start with the nation that quite literally hid pertinent information at that inflection point where we quite literally could have saved countless lives and countless pain. So yes, if you want to talk about holding them accountable, send them a check, a price tag first and foremost, and ask where the check is. If you're going to talk about financial sanctions, then we can talk about those financial sanctions. And perhaps that's the type of thing that we might want to include in a climate bill, because any climate bill that we're trying to pass that doesn't hold the foreign nations accountable is probably as worthless as the piece of paper that it is written on.
Thank you.
Okay, candidates, it is time for the cross-examination round. Each of you will have a chance to ask your opponent one question. The order was selected at random. We'll begin with you, Mr. Schumer.
Thank you. So, Mr. Pinion, we have seen the damage that assault weapons does in our communities. Buffalo, an 18-year-old, right after his birthday, was able to buy an assault weapon and kill 10 people in that top supermarket. I was there. I spoke to a 3-year-old boy. He told me and his mom together that they had kissed Dad goodbye. He was going to the top supermarket to get him a birthday cake. They never saw the dad again. I worked to ban assault weapons. In fact, as a congressman, I passed the law that banned them. Unfortunately, because of opposition from many, mostly on the Republican side, we could only get a 10-year ban. And then when George Bush and the Republicans took over, they let the ban slide. Mr. Pinion, will you join me in saying we should ban all assault weapons?
No. And here's the issue. At the end of the day, we have to be passing laws that save lives. And the problem is that for 42 years, Chuck Schumer has been passing laws that do nothing they are intended to do. He wants to talk about the gun laws that we need to focus on. How do we get the guns out of the hands of criminals? New York City, there's not a single person with a concealed carry permit that has committed a shooting on the subways. You go to Rochester, New York, that has a higher murder rate than Chicago, Illinois. Now, on your watch, by the way, none of those actual murders have been committed with legal guns. So we need to deal with the scourge of illegal guns. You have not taken that as the priority. We need to figure out when do the legal guns fall off the truck and become illegal guns. Who are those individuals, the small actors that are actually allowing for this scourge of violence to rip across this country and take real serious solutions, not political ones? And the problem is, Senator, that you continue to prioritize the politics that get you into power over the humanity for the people, and that's what pass laws that keep people safe.
Yo, that's the thing that gets me. I don't understand how you watch these people and you can't realize why we MAGA. Like, like that was
hard.
That's straight gangster.
Yeah, all the way.
That's straight gangster.
All the way.
And then the thing is, like, there's no politician that I have heard to the date tell me, how are we going to stop gun violence from taking the gun from law-abiding citizens? You mean to tell me I gave you my social, my address, I gave you everything, you know where I live, well, that's
you know
address.
exactly what weapons I carry.
Yeah.
All of that.
All of that. You got my fingerprint and you worried about me. Except for this gun that's out here in the street, serial number unmarked.
You know what I mean?
Like they don't know where he got it from. It went from gangster to gangster to gangster.
Right.
But how you taking it away from them? And that's the facts. Like, and anybody who is against guns, can you guys please have a common sense, brain, bone, neural connection? Because I heard that's when you learn new things, you get neural connections. If you could have that to understand, how the heck are you going to be against guns for legal people, but be okay with criminals having it? And if you're taking it away from legal people, how you think you're going to take it away from criminals? You're not!
Law-abiding. Yeah, you leave them defenseless. On both ends. On both ends. You want to defund the police, so you have nobody to protect them.
We can't call the police.
You know, you can't call the police, and then you can't defend yourself. You are defenseless. But I love this because it shows the MAGA Republican that is for the people, and then you get to see the career politician. This man had the audacity to say that he spoke with a Fuck out of here. He spoke with a 3-year-old. I had a conversation with a 3-year-old, but his mother was present.
You brought that up in the debate?
Yo, in a debate, like straight lie. Like, listen, I spoke to a 3-year-old. Now, will you stand with me? Will you stand with me in getting these guns off the street? I love that he paused for a minute and was like, no. Absolutely not. No. You talking all this nonsense, but you haven't brought any legislation to actually deal with the guns that are on the street illegally.
And just out of everything, that was in the front part of his mind when I spoke to a 3-year-old. His mom was there though, and you know what he was like, he don't like bang bang.
No, but see, that's what they do. They yank on the heartstrings.
I would have been like, who let him talk to the 3-year-old?
You know, but his mom was there, so it's okay. What I will say is that for them to say MAGA is racist, Joe Pinion is a black man running on the Republican ticket with actual ideas. And I recommend that you go and find the full debate. The full debate from beginning to end. I mean, he clobbered.
You enjoy it.
Clobbered this man.
And it's enjoyable to see debates like that. And where people are passionate, you have to see their love. Like, and honestly, let's not even talk about the actual responses. Let's talk about the heart behind the responses. Mm-hmm. I mean, Chuck is very robotic and very like,
politician.
Yes.
Career politician.
Why do you want that, guys? Look at where we're at. Where we got to right now.
They're not for the people. They're not for the people.
Where we're at right now is because of the career politicians. Can we start
on both sides?
Right.
Let's just put that out there on both sides.
Oh, yes, because it's gang. Mm-hmm. And it don't matter blue or red. They could be on the same team. Like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. Let's start doing different things. Let's start voting for people who actually care about the people and have responses and hearts like this man.
Yeah, and I have no problem with somebody that's on the Democrat ticket, like with one of the gentlemen that we spoke with at the poll. He really had a heart for the people. If he ran as a Democrat, I wouldn't turn him away if I ran across a Republican that was fighting for the same seat that didn't have a heart for the people the way that this man had a heart for his people.
Well, get peep game. He already said he had heart for the people, and he went somewhere, and it was a click, and he was not part of it.
I'm sorry, what?
When he ran for what he ran for.
Oh, no, that was somebody told. I wasn't thinking about him. I was thinking about somebody else.
Oh,
He's already in a position somewhere.
Oh, okay.
But like, I do agree.
Yeah.
Like he's saying, I'm running I'm running as a Democrat and I'm trying to get in here, but he has values that don't align with the party that
they don't let you in.
That they think that they're
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so he's trying to go in there thinking like, hey guys, we're on the same team. And
Yeah.
they looking at him like, nah, homie.
You're
you
actually
ain't."
a Republican.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to let you in. And pushed him out. And to him, it still hasn't registered because they do not know what is the actual reality of the party
Yeah.
that they're representing.
Yeah.
They have no clue. They think that, it's the party for the people. That's why, because of unions and this and this and that. It's like, no. Have you came up for air at all recently to find out what is actually happening in the country and who are the people that are fueling it?
And I hope that guy keeps trying. Cause
I really do, because
yeah.
I think personally, I thought he was a solid dude.
Yeah.
That really cared
I would vote
about
for him.
children.
Yeah.
And I thought it was beautiful to have that conversation with him. But it's just unfortunate to see that because of ignorance, they don't know what they're representing. They don't know what they're stomping for. They don't know what they're faithful to. And they're being used. So that's the part that like really hurt me being there. But, I really want people to see that MAGA is not about make America great again. It's not about party. It's about policy and it's about the people. That's what it's about. And this is the thing that they don't want you to see.
No.
So, in the weeks to come, we're going to dig more into more of these MAGA, Make America Great, America First candidates so that you can really see that it's not about hate or racism or any of that nonsense that they're trying to feed you.
That's why listen, guys, that's why they want you to think we're crazy. That's why they want you to think we're delusional. Who's going to talk to a crazy person? Nobody. I mean, I see crazies and I'm like,
no, daddy.
you know what I mean? So I just realized it is so strategic. If you can label a whole group of people crazy, there's no way you'd want to enter into a conversation with them.
Or if you have a foundation that automatically solidifies you in this thought that they're crazy, it's hard for you to receive what they're saying because in front of your mind, it's like, oh no, conspiracy theorists. They're insane. They're racist. They're ignorant because they don't know what they're standing with. Because even with, I know that we were talking about it earlier with Abe Hamada. I think that's what his last name is. Hamada. He's running for Attorney General in Arizona. All of these people in Twitter talking about how could you do this against your own people and how could you stand with, these racists. And I'm just like, my guy. Have you
so
looked
weird.
at the party? Like, how can all of you guys be robotically saying the same thing and not take a step back and realize that everybody that's representing MAGA is not just a straight white man? Like, I don't understand it. You have women, you have minorities. Like, it's across the board. It's just America first.
Yeah.
But
it's
they don't get it.
crazy. It's crazy. It is. And the whole white supremacy. You know what, though? Part of me is like, wow, they're freaking good at this game. Like, part of me thinks about like every step of the way, how the voting, how they get the candidates, and just how they've manipulated everything. Like, it's almost genius. I'm sorry. It is.
It's wicked.
It
very
is.
wicked
It is.
and
But
deceitful, but they know how to work it.
yeah, because I just think about it. Not only do they shut down our videos, but people don't even think twice about it. It's like, oh, yeah, they don't want misinformation. That's why they shut down their videos. You know what I'm saying?
Like maybe they just don't want you to hear the truth.
Right. Yeah, because the truth is like, wow, I didn't know that. It's like light bulb. They don't want that light bulb to go on. In the dark, light bulb. Get it? You didn't get it?
No, I got it. I got it. So I was thinking about what we were talking about earlier today. And you know how you made that video where you're like, we could tell you what's actually happening in our government, and you'd be like, "Oh, I believe it when I see it." But then we could tell you the most ridiculous thing about Trump, and you're like, "Yeah, he's going down. He's going to jail."
So quick.
Yeah, they're so quick to eat up anything. And as
Right.
I'm listening to all of these things, it's like, okay, they have no clue about what's happening in our country, but I can tell them the most ridiculous story about Trump, and they will gladly, gleefully eat it up and repeat it and rejoice over it. And it's just like, this is insane.
It
right?
is.
So as I'm thinking about it, the scripture that came to mind was Proverbs 17:4. It says, "An evildoer listens to wicked lips, and a liar gives ear to mischievous tongue." They love it. They don't even see that this is the pattern or the rotation that they're in. Mm-hmm. Because they are evildoers and they don't know. And evil, when it comes to scripture, has a lot to do with your way of thinking. Your way of thinking is so wicked that when you hear something, it may be absolutely ridiculous, but because of your thought process, when you hear it, it tingles the ear, and you're willing to give ear to it. You're willing to listen to it. You're willing to rejoice in it because of the evil thoughts that you already hold in your mind. You're willing to give attention to evil and malicious tongues. What other people are saying that is not true, but because it jives with what you believe and the thoughts that you hold, you're willing to eat it up. But when it comes to truth, because it doesn't align with the wickedness that you're holding in your thoughts, it's like, no. I don't know. I'm going to need to see him in cuffs. I need to see them getting ready to inject him for me to even consider that this
I have
is
to
a legit
see
thing.
him take the money out of the register, and they have to have a picture of him.
Yeah, with DNA sampling, with fingerprints. I need it all.
And
Hair
then
samples.
Yeah. And then after that,
I might.
because who's to say they didn't just make all that up?
Who's to say that they didn't take care of it as brush?
Who's to say that laptop is actually somebody else's laptop?
Exactly. Makes perfect sense.
Or it's his laptop, but somebody else put all that information and actually photoshopped his face into the pictures and put his face into the videos and made his sound like him.
What?
You get it? I mean, they do that.
Yeah.
Mar-a-Lago, though, it's obvious Trump did something wrong.
Yeah, like who takes files? It's
Right.
like so ridiculous.
Right. Why does he need them?
Why? He doesn't even read. Like it's like the oddest. I'm just like, yo, like I kid you not. Every time, yo, it just be so wild to me. It is so wild to me.
He's so racist. He is racist. Well, okay, so what did he say? Hold on, you got me on the spot right now. Hold on.
Nah. And then like for people to be so upset, even with that, when they bring up like the whole Central Park 5, I'm thinking, really, a Netflix original? Like y'all
it was really good though.
No, but like seriously though, like y'all didn't care about that until Netflix told you to care about it.
But
and
know
now
what?
it's your number one talking point.
But you know what? I have to say something.
Say it.
It made me realize how much we believe in the movies. You know what I mean? Like we believe because we watched it. And that actor made me cry. You know that really happened. he made you seen him in solitary confinement.
It doesn't, listen, at the end of the day, if you are going to be mad at anybody, it should not be the man that put out an ad, right? Based off of the information that he had received, that the public also received, based on them agreeing to it and actually being, I won't say guilty, but them going to jail over it. You're mad at him. You're not mad at the judge. You're not mad at the lawyers. You're not
even in
mad
the movie,
at-
it shows that one lady was
Yeah.
the evil one.
Yeah, like you're not mad at anybody else.
The parents
Just Trump.
too.
Exactly. Like
Because
you're not
I mean,
mad at
even
the
if you
parents.
watched it,
Yeah.
you're like, why would you? I'm
As a
sorry.
parent,
Right.
tell your kid.
No to the end. No.
Mm-hmm.
Man, once I learned that, I was like, baby, you don't say nothing. Even if you did it, we'll figure it out. No, I'm just because listen, and I'm not trying, for me personally, I'm not trying to teach my son to be fraudulent in any way. But where we're in a corrupted system, you don't know what type of situation they can put your child in.
Nah.
So
You
it's
have
not
the right to remain silent.
bro,
Use
I
that
didn't know
right.
that.
Use that right.
I didn't know that, girl. Listen, let me tell you, there was once upon a time that says you have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. I was like, yeah. And he was like, I'm here to help you. Just tell me what happened. Okay, I'll tell you everything. Wait, you're going home? How come I gotta go? Where? How come? You know what I mean? And that was a very tough lesson to learn.
Yeah.
But the point is that as a parent, you have to teach your children. I guess that was my whole point.
Yeah.
Because it was a tough lesson. Very
Yeah.
expensive.
But, to go back to what we were saying.
Which was
Originally, we're talking about MAGA Republicans, but then we went into Trump at the end of it, as far as like the Central Park Five and all that.
Oh, that's how we got there.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. But it's just interesting that people only care about what they're told to care about. And that's the part that shows to me that you're not a free thinker. If you can't think outside of the perimeters that they have placed for you, you ain't no free thinker.
No.
You only think within the perimeters that you're allowed to think in.
Exactly. If your videos don't get banned, you ain't no free thinker.
But
If you ain't on your fourth TikTok account, you ain't no free
you ain't
thinker.
saying nothing worth
You ain't
banning.
you ain't no free thinker.
No. And it has nothing to do with misinformation. But to go back, like we are going to get into more and more debates as we go through them, because what was let out on the stage was beautiful. And I really want to show a picture of what America First looks like.
Yeah.
And we have to get rid of these establishment politicians, whether it be Democrat, mainly Democrat, but also some of the Republicans, because if you're not going to stand for the people and you're not going to be for the country, you have no place in representing the people nor the country. And that's just where I stand.
Yep. And hey, listen, if you're a Democrat, get out there. If you care about your people and your country, get out there, make policies that benefit your people and your country and your community. Show us different. But right now,
Yeah.
mega gang.
No, and again, like we were saying from the beginning, it's not that there aren't those that are out there, but I don't think that if a large majority of them was to do it, that they would be embraced by the party.
No,
Like, just
it's-
like we were talking about the guy,
yeah.
like he had a heart for kids, a genuine heart for kids, but that's not where we're going. And it's unfortunate, but
Yeah, because then they give up.
yeah, they do hit a
Yeah, because it's like,
it's
oh, I can't.
disappointing,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's like, no, just come over here.
Yeah, because we can get it done. I would love that to birth a whole new party
Imagine.
within, because I mean
That'd be litty.
Yeah, within the Republican Party, to birth a whole new thing where it is people that are for the people. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
And guys, you know what? Thanks for tuning in. And you already know the goal is to break the image of tradition,
While showing the beauty of walking in wisdom,
bringing it raw and keeping it 100.
with Christ at the center, you're either going to hate it or love it.
You better love it.
I think so.
It's a damn good show.
We cannot take their line.
Aw. All right, fine. It was a good show.
See you in 2 weeks.
We said
I told you about that. You know how loud you're going to be in my microphone right now?
I don't know.
You on microphone right now?
¿Qué pasó?
You're going to be so mad at me.
No, I'm just going to go home.
Oh, that something wasn't right when I didn't do that.
What did I do?
What?
I forgot already.
Don't do it. Please, for the love of God, don't do it. Let's do it.
Let's do what?
Come on, we could do it. 30 minutes.
What are we doing again? Starting over?
Starting over. Hey guys,
Mama
yo, jump right
huevo.
into it. Stop playing with me.
Hey guys, thanks for coming back. This is episode 11. Hey guys, welcome back to Hate It or Love It. Hold on, let me get my... So I'm kind of mad.
I know.
Okay.
But we can do it fast though. Less talking.
That doesn't help you?
No. But to go back, that's why I think it's important that we begin to.
And you know what? It really gets me because I really love Chinese food. how much China actually. No, you have these people in these factories that are not. They're not getting breaks, or you know what I mean. They're in like the last one I checked was Walmart, I guess, and they were in really hot places where it's like they're sweating the whole time, and they don't get a lot of. Well, I already said that. They don't get breaks, and you know they're sweating. You know they're on breaks.
What are you, a girl or something?
Right back at it.
You're a girl, something. Sorry, okay. Look, for real. That is sad. That is the part that just. Ooh.
I know.
You don't understand. Between the young people and the old people, people just go and take advantage of them. I just want to.
I know.
You know what I mean? Because those are the most vulnerable people are the old people.
I know, and that's the part that pisses me off when people say, "Oh, I'm not involved. I don't care about politics." It's not politics.
When you see old people crying because they can't hug their babies.
Yeah.
Yo, I'd have broke my grandma out.
Come on, Grandma. Where are we going?
Don't worry about it. Come on.
I was there. I spoke to a 3-year-old boy. He told me and his mom.
What you doing talking to a 3-year-old boy?
Yo, when I heard him say that, I was like, "Shut up, Schumer! You was talking to a 3-year-old. What was he saying? What was he saying?"
I seen it. I see the bed and it went pow pow.
Nobody answers that question. Nobody wants to answer that question.
So you penalize the law-abiding citizens,
Like the
and
ones
you
that are
say
giving
nothing to criminals.
The ones that are gonna give it to you. Here, officer. Sorry, I got my other rifle. Here you go. Yo, I need to cut my bangs, bro. I cannot see through these joints. But then I be thinking, yo, my forehead big as fuck.